Hi, my name is Tatum Brown, and this is my Deviance and Delinquency Developmental Theories, a 50-year perspective presentation. I'm sorry I couldn't figure out the layout, so this is what we're going to have to do. Deviance is a behavior that violates social norms or expectations, and delinquency is a law-breaking or antisocial behavior, especially among youth. A timeline overview. I'm going to discuss this in the next slides, but it's just like the 50 years of theories for the 1970s through 2020s. So in the 1970s, that is a labeling theory, which the main focus is societal reaction to deviance contributes to continued deviance, and the key theorist is Howard Becker. Core concepts are labeling leads to secondary deviance, and the impact is a shift from individual causes to societal labeling. And Braithwaite expands on labeling theory by discussing how shame and reintegration can affect future behavior. I have this little visual that shows the labeling theory above. And then in the 1980s, it's social control theory. The main focus is strong social bonds prevent deviance. Key theorist is Travis Hirschi. The four elements are attachment, commitment, involvement, and belief. And main applications are in youth engagement and prevention programs. Matsuda found that weakened social control can increase the risk of delinquency, especially when peers model deviant behavior. In 1990s, that's the general strain theory developed. Have this visual showing that anger is at the center and then like the other factors branching off. The main focus is emotional strain leads to deviance, and Agnew explains how different types of strain influence criminal outcomes. The next theory is in the 2000s, the life course theory, contributed by Terry Moffat, and the main focus is developmental pathways of delinquency. And I have like the life course. It emphasizes early intervention and childhood development, and how antisocial behavior develops differently over time. So for 2010s, the biosocial criminology, the focus is biological and environmental interactions. The key contributor is Kevin Beaver. It includes genetics, neurobiology, and behavioral traits. And it is controversial but opened interdisciplinary collaboration. And Moffat connects neuropsychological risk factors and environment, laying groundwork for biosocial perspectives. The 2020s is a trauma-informed and restorative justice. So the approach is healing-based, accountability-driven responses, and the key contributors are Judith Herman and Howard Zur. And just a main focus on trauma recovery, victim-offender dialogue, and like a current use in youth courts, schools, and communities. And it's just promoting care for children exposed to violence and trauma. So the similarities between decades. Across the past 50 years, developmental theories of deviance and delinquency share several foundational themes. So the first one is the role of social influence and the focus on prevention, and then rehabilitation over punishment, and the last one is multidisciplinary integration. All of these are kind of just showing like how these interventions can prevent delinquency and just like increase psychology and biology and neuroscience just in a more holistic approach over time. So there are a lot of similarities between the 50 years. I made a chart for the differences, the 1970s through 2020s, if you want to look at that. And then I have a summary of past and present importance. The main thing for the past theories in 1970s to 1990s is that it is like pushing away from punishment and pushing towards societal causes and just a foundation for diversion programs. And then in modern theories, it's promoting restorative practices and community-based models. And then the overall importance is that it's just moving towards rehabilitation, prevention, and healing. And it's present in youth and trauma schools. And here are my references. Thank you so much.